since we're running behind, we're going to jump right into our first speech. I'd like to thank Ms. Toy Thomas because we were looking for a replacement and she stepped up. She was very willing to have a pocket speech ready to give tonight. Toy's speech is titled This Toastmasters Year. It is from the Pathways Project #1, and it's her icebreaker speech, and it will be 4 to 6 minutes. Toy Thomas is a charter member of Reynoldsburg Toastmasters and serves as club treasurer. She would like to use this introduction as a friendly reminder to everyone that your membership renewals are due and can be collected today at the end of this meeting. Get your checkbooks out. Toy has worked in various roles throughout the district and achieved her Distinguished Toastmaster DTM status in August of 2016. When she is not busy preparing for her next speech or meeting role, she is busy encouraging her daughter with the same leadership principles she has learned in Toastmasters. Please give us a warm welcome for Ms. Toy Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our honored guests. It was a cold night, February 11th, 1990, and fans across Columbus were glued to their television sets for the heavyweight championship boxing match between Mr. James Buster Douglas and heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson. Now, it seemed impossible that someone from Columbus would be facing Mike Tyson at that time. And many of you remember back in the day, it was not something that was thought of as, it was more like a heinous act to go up against Mike Tyson. He was known for knocking people out, Eric. He had 37 wins. 17 of them were knockouts, meaning that they happened in the first 3 minutes of the round. These were grown men, over 200 pounds, heavyweight champions as well, but they all suffered a loss. So Mr. Douglas was going to go to Las Vegas and he was going to go up against Iron Mike, and he was going to make his mother proud and be the first person to defeat him. So they started the match. They're going blow for blow. It's round 1, it's round 2, it's round 3, and Douglas is still in. 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8, and finally, Mike hits Douglas and he goes down. Everyone thought he was out for the count. The referee is counting down. He's up to count 9, and Douglas rises. Round 9 ended up being the most dramatic match of the entire fight. They went blow for blow. They actually lasted the entire round. And then in round 10, Douglas comes out, he meets up with Mike. Mike is now wore out, he's tired. He's never actually had to fight for this long of a period of time. And he really doesn't know what to expect from this guy. He wants to take him out, but with a swift uppercut, he lands on his back. The match is over, and James Buster Douglas is declared heavyweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Toastmasters, I want you to think about what this Toastmasters year means to you. We're all considered leaders. We're all considered champions, just like James Buster Douglas. Well, what made Douglas different from Mike Tyson? There were 2 champions that night. Little did many know, Douglas had just lost his mother 2-3 weeks before the match. 2 days before the match, he comes down with the flu. Then he gets a phone call that his child's mother, his son's mother, has a kidney illness and she could possibly die. The only words he could say pushed him through that fight were the words of his mother, telling everybody in Columbus that her son was going to beat Mike Tyson. And I know she told everybody because she worked at a hair salon. And we know how a hair salon. Word travels. So he knew that if his mother believed in him, he could do it. However, I want you to think about the difference in when Tyson knocked Douglas down and he rose up, and when Douglas knocked Tyson down and he couldn't get up. He had never been hit before. I want you to consider this Toastmasters year, even if you're at the top of your game, even if you are a distinguished Toastmaster, I want you to think about all the different challenges that you could possibly face this year and take them head on. Try something new. That's what I'm trying to do tonight. I want to try to become more of a better storyteller. I want to try to become more of a better contestant. I want to try some new things. I've been in Toastmasters 10 years. This is heinous. I've been in Toastmasters 8 years, and I don't say I need to work on that. And that's what I want you to consider in your Toastmasters year this year. What do you need to work on? What skills could you improve on? Who could you knock out? And this time, I don't want you to think about someone else. I want you to picture yourself in the mirror and compete against yourself. How can you become better this Toastmasters year? Thank you.
Thank you. So they were very heinous, definitely.
Expensive and didn't last long. You spent like $90 and then it'd be over in 2 minutes.
Continue right with our program. Our next speaker is our fabulous president, Ms. Yvonne Pryor. Yvonne has been a member of Toastmasters for 3 years. She has held the office role of Vice President of Membership for 2 terms at her home club, Agawisi, and is the current president of the Reynoldsburg Club. Yvonne currently serves as a Pathways Guide of District 40, and she is working to achieve the highest distinction in Toastmasters, DTM, in 2 years. Tonight, she will be presenting from the Advanced Manual Speaking to Inform, project number 4, a fact-finding report. The time for Yvonne's speech is 5 to 7 minutes, followed by a 2 to 3 minute question and answer period. And the title of her speech is Statistically Speaking. Please give a warm welcome for our president, Ms. Yvonne Pryor.
She combined us like 8 to 10.
Nope, I need this. Sorry, I don't have binoculars for this presentation, but I'm going to use my computer. Hopefully you can see. Get as close as you can. Okay. Can you see it here?
I'm listening to you, I don't have to say.
Okay. Okay. It won't be in your way. Okay, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Tonight I want to show you Toastmasters International and how it's comprised, the makeup of Toastmasters. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Distinguished Club Program, the who, the what, the when, the why, and the how it is designed. So who are we? We are Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International is divided into 14 regions, spanning 126 countries and serving over 313,000 members. And the makeup of that region, as you can see here, of course it's not working, anyway, is the region. The region is made up of the district is made up of divisions are made up of areas are made up of clubs, and then the clubs are made up of individual members like you and I. In the United States, there are 9 different regions. I wish you could see this. But the regions are indicated by the blue rectangulars here that we have here. And then under those is the districts. So where do we fit at in the big picture? We fit into Region 6. Region 6 is, and then we are District 40, Division H, Area 75, which has 5 clubs. Those clubs listed here are Newark, Granville, Encore, Diversity Toastmasters of Central Ohio, Coshocton, and then Reynoldsburg. So we make up the 5th club in Area 5, which we chartered back in March 28, 2018. So this is us in the big picture. We are Region 6. So this is how it's all comprised. This is the hierarchy of what makes up Toastmasters International. It's not just a headquarters just sitting out somewhere. We are Toastmasters International. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Distinguished Performance Report. The Distinguished Performance Report is it highlights each club's performance throughout the year, starting from July 1st runs through June 30th, so it's 1 year. This gives Toastmasters International headquarters an idea of the performance of the clubs that are within the regions. And we do this by what's called a Distinguished Club Program. Now the Distinguished Club Program, it lists, there's 10 goals that our club is supposed to achieve, that we try to achieve. And these are the goals listed here. So out of 0, of course you don't meet any goals. 5 out of 10, there's 10 goals, so 5 out of 10 your club becomes Club Distinguished. 7 out of 10 is Select Distinguished. 9 out of 10 is President's Distinguished. Now there are 10, as I stated. 10 out of 10 is phenomenal, but you don't get anything for doing that extra one goal. And you must keep a base of 20 members. Now, the great thing is that Reynoldsburg, after 3 months becoming charter, we actually made Distinguished, Club Distinguished. So we got 5 out of 10 goals in 3 months, so that's fantastic. But I want to push us a little more this year. We want to skip right past Select and go straight to President's Distinguished. So our goal for Reynoldsburg this year is to become President's Distinguished. So I'm going to get a little bit into the topics here. So there's 4 areas where we can receive credit. It's education, membership, training, and administration. Education goals. There are, as I stated, there are 10 goals that you can achieve. There are 6 goals here. Right now we have 2 from the Legacy Educational Program and then with Pathways. As of June 2020, the Legacy Educational Program will go away and we'll be just working with Pathways. So at this particular time we have maximum of 6 goals that we can accomplish in the 2 educational programs. This is very important for our Vice President of Education to pay attention to, because this is one of the things we need to work on in making sure all of our members can get their credits for their speaking projects done. So we want to pay specifically attention to how we are standing up and getting our CC from the Legacy and then, of course, the Pathways. So Lanita, that's something you got to pay attention to. Next is the membership, training, and admin goals. Membership, that's 7 through 10. So we have that makes up the 10. So membership, we have to get 4 new members. So it's important to invite guests, make sure you ask them to join, to make sure that we can get the credit for that particular goal. This is the area that our Vice President of Membership needs to pay attention to make sure that we are on track in meeting this goal. The next one is training. 4 officers have to be trained to get credit for our training goals. So Toastmasters Leadership Institute is a program designed where we have training for the officers. It's offered 2 times a year. We need at least 4 officers to be trained to get that goal. Then the last 2 is one, as our treasurer had mentioned, about the dues that's going to be coming up for September. We have to make sure that at least 8 members are paid and those dues are submitted on time to get credit for that goal. And then the last one is to make sure, as for our secretaries, to make sure that the officers that are elected, their names are submitted to Toastmasters headquarters on time. So I have in front of you the DCP for last year. That's where it shows where we had the 5 goals out of 10. So I want to briefly just walk through this to help you be able to read it. I'm going to step over here. So on the top left, as I mentioned, the club assignment that tells you the region, the district, the division, and the area. The next one over is our membership base. We have to have at least 20 members as our base, and then we go up from there. So last year, we were able to get 5 new members, as you can see indicated there. Then over to the far, if you're facing this way, far right, shows the goals that I just showed on the previous page. And then down the bottom in the blue are the 10 goals that we're trying to achieve. And you can see indicated by the check mark is where the goals that we got credit for. So that's where we were as of last year. Now, as I stated, the new year started in July 1st. This is where we are. We're a month into the new year. We haven't met any goals. However, we do have a CC from TOY that we will be putting in the system. I'm working on my advanced program. I believe Derek is also CL, working on his CL. So we're off to a good start. As I said, we can get that President's Distinguished in no time. So now how can you help Reynoldsburg become President's Distinguished? Get serious about your Toastmasters, your individual goals. Get with the Vice President of Education, make sure that you're on track to receiving your credits, your awards. Then schedule your next project and get on the agenda to do your speech or whatever project you're working on, maybe from Pathways. And for membership, again, invite guests to come out, ask them to join, and then for the officers to attend the TLI Club Officers Training, and then, of course, the renewals. Now, I do want to get into, do you have any questions for anything? Maybe something you see on the chart, or yes, Derek?
So under membership, it has our base is 26.
No, the base should be 20.
On the sheet, on here, it says 26. That's I just wanted to ask if, do we have 26 members currently now, or is that a mistake?
We do, because who was our last member that joined?
Ebony.
It was Ebony, or was
okay.
it,
So we have 26 members?
it's the other one, Kayla.
Maybe it's Kayla.
Oh, okay, great. I
Yeah,
know we have
so-
26 members.
Right.
So do we have to keep 26? Or
No, we
we
have to
have
keep
20.
20.
Okay.
We have to keep 20. But that
So by
number's gonna
required.
drop, so we
Required.
definitely need to get that going. Any other questions? Derek, do you want to share with us what happened to your club?
Oh,
The
yes.
heinous act that happened with your club?
We had 20 members on paper. We had 20 members in our group. One was a transfer member from another club, but since her money was with her home club and she just transferred, the money doesn't transfer. So at Toastmasters International, she's still a member of that other club. Even though her paperwork is in, she transferred into our club. At Toastmasters, we were only listed at 19 members, so we didn't qualify for the program.
And they were President's Distinguished.
We were presidents.
Yeah, they would have been President's Distinguished, so we have to make sure that, right, we have to make sure our base is covered
Right.
or nothing counts. So one last thing. Good luck. We're all counting on you. Thank you.